in this one we're going to go over silent hunting options. Well, when we're looking at silent hunting options, best thing on the planet. I mean, yeah, you can go suppressed 22, and there are ways of doing that, but in the end, if you don't have a good, simple option for suppressed hunting or for silent hunting, you might want to get something like this. Okay, this is just a simple takedown bow and arrow. It wasn't all that expensive. I picked it up from Amazon for like $100. I had a bunch of arrows beforehand, and so let's get into it. Okay, the first thing that you're going to notice here is I have a mailing tube that I've blackened in literally with a black permanent marker. The reason why I have done that, oh, and by the way, the ends of this have a piece of blank line through the end of it, so I can easily take the end cap on and off. Okay, and at the other end I have a piece of bank line going through it, and at the bottom I have a chunk of a shop rag wadded up, rolled up, and then spiraled to create a cushion, and then I cover all that in a good amount of duct tape to protect that end cap, because if I'm carrying broadheads, I'm going to want to carry broadheads in something like this, not a nylon sheath. Okay, so that's something to be aware of. So that's why you always want to have a decent quiver. Now granted, this is a quiver that I got for $4 with, I don't know, a little bit of bank line, and I modified it, and now it's workable. Okay, so granted, it's not beautiful. If I wanted to make this more or less seeable in the woods, obviously I could take some camo duct tape and duct tape it if I wanted to. So that's the first thing that we're going to go over. Alright, next thing we're going to go over is my shooting bag. It's always good to have everything that you need for that weapon or for that hunting option already attached to that option. Okay? Now, in the case of firearms, obviously you'll have a clean kit in your bag, or you'll have some method of cleaning your firearm in your bag or elsewhere. But in my shooting kit, I've got some paper that's good for flammable stuff. A couple of zip ties. Zip ties are always good for just about anything. Arm guard. Sometimes when you're shooting from various positions, it would be helpful if you have one of these, because string slap against the inside of your arm, well, it doesn't feel good. I've got a plastic bag with some golf tees that basically what these golf tees allow me to do is to take an arrow, take the knock point off, and then I can stick one of these golf tees down in the inside of the arrow, boom, cover it with duct tape, and now I can use it in a slingshot. Okay, so basically I'm just adding versatility to all my arrows just by having golf tees. Now, does it gonna have the power that the bow that I'm getting ready to show you will have? No, but on the other hand, it will give me more versatility. So, you know, everything's all about versatility. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull my arrows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I've got 18 arrows right here, okay? Now granted, can you create arrows in the wild? Absolutely. On the other hand, it's a good thing to already have some arrows with you. So that's why I have them, okay? What else do I have? Well, I have some broadheads that will not break down, and I have some mechanical broadheads right here, okay? And I just put those in a pill box that you can get from a drugstore or whatever, okay? The next one, I have the other pill box. I've got basically fill tips and paper clips. Why the paper clips? Well, if you bend the paper clip around the fill tip and you have the two ears sticking out from the side of that fill tip, now instead of having a broadhead, now I have a dart with a couple of prongs off the side of it, and I can use those prongs then for fishing. So now I can use my bow now to even bow fish. Okay, so add a line to the end of the, when you put the fill tip on the arrow, you're going to have your paper clip, and right behind your paper clip, then you can take some fishing line or some other type of cordage or string and attach that to right behind the paper clip. Screw that arrow on into it, and now you have something that you can use for your bow fishing. Okay? In another pill box, I have broadheads that I have taken down, so that now I can assemble my broadheads right before I go hunting. Okay? And the only other thing that I have in here is just a simple shooting glove. Just a neat archery, simple, cheap shooting glove. And that's all I have in my shooting bag. Alright, let's get on to the bow. This is a Spectre Archery 55 pound draw weight bow. And it's basically a very simple takedown. It's 3 pieces. I was talking with a friend of mine because I was thinking about building my own bow. And he said to me, he said, well, that the best thing for what I was wanting to do is to actually just go ahead and buy a simple takedown. And so I heeded his advice. So it comes with 2 fiberglass risers, or 2 fiberglass rims, sorry, a fiberglass riser, bowstring, and it came with 4 arrows, but you saw how I added more to that. And now you just simply take your bowstring, knock one end of it, alright, now here's the trick. Whenever you're stringing a bow like this, you want the bottom limb to grow across your left leg if you're right-handed. Okay? Then with your right leg, you're going to step into this way. And then you're going to bend the bow to where that string lusts right into that knock. And now you have your bow and she is strung and ready to go. Okay? So, it's a decent bow. I'm not going to say that it's beautiful or anything like that, but it will work. It knocks fine. And for something that has a very small carry weight, and for something like this, it's a decent survival bow. So, you know, it's certainly better than trying to carve one out of wood or anything else and trying to create one in the wild, when I can just carry this and I might have 2 pounds of pack weight in this, and you just saw I've got 18 arrows. I've got 18 shots. So that's the pro. Also, the great thing about this is that, at least as of yet, there is no nobody's against anybody having a bow right now. So for a silent option, a silent hunting option, it's been used for hundreds and thousands of years. It's worked all that time. So, you know, this would work the same. The next thing that I want to hit on with this is a bow like this. This is not a compound bow. This is just a standard, you know, short, well, some people would call it a long bow, but it's just a short bow. I mean, it's really not all that, long. Because of that, now the draw weight is 55 pounds on this, but still, even with that, you're not going to be accurate much over 15 yards, okay? The idea of shooting 60 yards is pretty much only applicable to a compound bow. Notice, there are no sights on this thing, okay? My sight is my eye, alright? So, you know, that's why you practice. That's why you want to practice a lot. For what it is a good option. With this bow, if for some reason the string were to break, for whatever reason, I could always modify this as long as I had the exact length that I needed. I could use bank line from my bowstring if I needed to. Okay? I could use things around me in the natural world to create my own arrows. See what I'm saying? It'd be a lot easier to create another arrow or to make a bank line bowstring for this bow, or to do something like that, rather than to try to create an entire new bow. Just a little bit of food for thought. Also, these risers, these limbs, and this riser, you're not going to break those. With normal use, you're not going to break those. So, my recommendation to you is not just to know how to create a bow if you need to in an emergency survival situation. Why not have one that's already made and ready for you, and all you have to do is put it together just as I showed you here. And like I said, you know, once you have sharp broadheads on these arrows, you're going to need a way to carry them, okay? So that's where the cheap quiver, and honestly, this is just a mailing tube. This is all this is. I went down to the post office, I got a mailing tube for $4, and I colored it in with a black permanent marker. It works. Is it pretty? No, but it works. So, anyway, just thought you guys might like that too. Thanks.
I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your views. I appreciate your time. Defend your homes wisely.